Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. A very beautiful, 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 beautiful day, beautiful day. How are you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? It's a beautiful day. So if you're here already, make sure that at least you type on the chat. That is what you do. I'm going to just remind you the same. You make sure that you like this live. You make sure that you chat below, and you make sure that we are really watching this. And this is really great. Amazing things that are really opening. Let me just open all the sites that we'll be looking at of them, because it's going to be tight. It's going to be amazing. We are going to move quickly, and we are going to find a very good entry. If the market, let's see whether we're going to get a good entry right now, right now. So let's just warm up, and the first thing that we do is relax. So you just relax, and then we find that entry, sharp entries. Sharp entries. Yeah, we have to do that. And it's did amazing, a very beautiful morning. So I actually have, do you know, I actually have an AI that tells me more about the news. That this AI actually can just help me to analyze everything. It's not really important, but it can help me a lot. So there are a lot of things I really doing here. So you see my tabs, and this is the reason actually for the people who have been teaching them to start trading. I always tell you that you need a laptop. Do you know, sometimes your phone can't open all these sites, and you need a good laptop. Because sometimes you can imagine using a laptop for multitasking, and then it will start eating. It will start like itakuwa pasi. You have to be careful on that. This is amazing. So we are going to start here. We see whether we're actually going to find a good entry, and I think this is really going to be great. So number one, please like if this is your first time here. Subscribe if this is your first time here. We normally come live every day, single day, 11 a.m. to just trend in the market, and I know we're going to find a good entry. Can you really imagine that since January, from since we started actually trading, I don't even remember a single stop loss that we hit. I don't really remember it. So this is great. Like, this is so amazing. I just love it. Since we started this, I'm not seeing any entry of a stop loss. There are some trends that we avoided. There are some trends that we cautioned, and but when it comes to the stop loss, I really don't remember that. So this is really going to be amazing today. So we are going to really check on all things, what is happening to the market, and also today we might be checking, because there are some of things that we're really not going to ignore. Because you can see China regulatory and devices curbing US Treasury funding. This is a high impact news that is actually going to, all these. You can see also the Nikkei or from Japan, Sanjay's, and goes all the way up to 3.9% record high, following Takai's landslide election win. So the election win of that one is actually pretty high. And also China reporting central bank to limit purchases. All this information. And today, remember, we are waiting for the retail sales and the core retail sales that is coming, employment cost index, and a lot of things that are aligned here. So might be talking about those, some of the news, and also combine it with some of the fundamentals to see what we might be getting, because today is Tuesday. It is Tuesday of 10th of February 2026, right? I don't know how many were this entry yesterday. Yesterday we are here. Yesterday we were here. Yesterday we are here. Yesterday we were here, and things were really very great. You can see this is entry that we end yesterday. I bought at this place, although it was really early. I just want you, but remember, there's like another line here, and I want you to, everything that I'm saying here, that's the same thing that Yeah, so this is the entries that we have, but for those who are here, they can just remember this zone that we are talking about, this area here. I actually did not change everything, and I think yesterday is one of the days that we ended up actually live streaming for like so many hours. We ended actually live streaming like almost 9 hours because I wanted the market to hit the TP, but I actually closed around this area here because you see it was almost the area. So closing at that area, you can see at this top here. And also you can remember that when we talk about market moving, remember this exactly, that is what the market did. And I know we actually struggled to find the entry, and you can see why. Is because that's why we did not really get a 100% sniper. Can you see my PC is what is happening? Is it really like lagging or what? Is it lagging? What am I seeing here? Because I want to really look for this. So I don't know. Let me check this. We need just. I need to stay sharp. 1 minute. Let me just correct this. I want to remove the camera so that at least my PC can't be overwhelmed. Then we'll focus on the analysis, right? Allow me to do that. There's something problem with my computers here. I've tried 2 of them, but they're giving me same problem. So let me correct this. This is really indeed amazing. So let me just put the microphone here. So if you can look at this entries that, if you can look at this entry that you have here, we're going to talk about it because that is the one that is going to give us the go ahead or what is going to be happening next. That is the same entry that we're going to be using today. We're going to be talking about that. Everything is okay right now. Everything is okay. I'm really trying very hard. I think I need to change these machines giving me, and I need very fast information. I need to close this website also. This is Sierra Chat. I need to close this. If you have a PC that is lagging, you need actually to avoid this. I think it is okay right now. Now, yesterday we are here, and remember our entry was actually at this candle here, and we were talking about the entry breaking here, and that's why after 9 hours of live streaming, you saw. Okay. Oh my goodness. I think we've closed that now. My sound is okay. Now let's talk about this and then we proceed. Sorry for that. Now look at this. Yesterday this is our entries. Remember now we end also this was not really our stop loss because I know there's some people who are thinking this was stop loss. Actually, this was the area that we mentioned that in case this market proceeds to move slightly below this, then of course we are doomed because the market is really going to change the character. Like our analysis is really not going to be that true, and that's why you see it's really happened around that area, and the market actually reversed and moved on so well after touching this zone that we have here, which is this area here of 49.81. So I think that was really great, and you can see this area here, that is where we were receiving very big rejection, that like there was high rejection when this market was actually touching these areas here. You can see this, and we actually highlighted in these areas here, but of course I expected a breakout, and that is of course what happened after this. I've not changed anything from yesterday, and you can see the same thing that actually happened after some hours. The breakout, the market came, invitation baridi, like this is just to scare you and you just get out. We decided to hold family until this area here, although the market that was actually a very early entry around this area here, and the market was really indeed very tempting that we can actually felt like the market is really going to do all this. Now I want us to, we are still analyzing because we might be getting something different from this market, or we are going to confirm what we traded yesterday. And you can see this region really matters a lot around this line that we draw, this line that we drew here yesterday, because you can see so well it was as well tested again by this point that we have here. You can see that, there was another testing point across this area where we have this market coming down again and before moving up. And that's why you can see we said after breakout this market is going to move up then come down again. Okay, so we're going to see, is the market really, has it achieved the levels that we wanted it to achieve, or we and down, or the market is going to move to which direction? So that really mattered a lot, because we need to combine yesterday analysis plus today, because I say number one, you need to be following currencies. If you are trading gold, you need to follow it. If you are trading currencies, we need to follow it. We also be checking on the currencies that we analyzed yesterday, and we're also going to hand some correlationship, so that in case and find at least the pair that we're analyzing at least has some either inverse correlation or direct correlation with some of other currencies, so that we can take advantage of that. There are also some currencies that actually be a leading indicator, like when you see the move, of course you can expect that to move. So those are some of the tricks that you can utilize in the market to know where the market will be moving. Now, this is where we, of course, the market has done like everything that we intended to do, because now we expected a breakout here, and the market broke out throughout of this market and went all the way to this level that we have here. I think we achieved 50.85. It's not really going to be because we expected around slightly around 50.92. Yeah, but you can see it's almost this zone 50.92 and above there. But I closed my position right at the top here, which is 50. Actually I closed around 80s, because when the market actually achieved those levels, for this we can know, remember the prices actually stand around that area here. And I closed the live I think around 8 p.m, and that was really crazy, trending for 9 hours yesterday. But I was very far. Let me just not lie on this. I was not really around my PC, so I just left everything. And this is very nice, because this is a very good thing, because sometimes you can have your stop loss and the TP at the same time. So when you have your TP placed, and of course some of these things, when it comes to closing, you can close using if your account is connected to your MT5 from the phone, then you can close it anywhere. All right, and that is one thing so amazing. So we'll be deleting all this and then focus on the new thing to see the possibility for this market to move and where we might be moving after this. But now you can see that was achieved and the market really moved down, and this is what we want us to really confirm. So allow me to remove every drawing, because yesterday was a success, so we can say that was a success. Because even if you entered yesterday with us from here, that was around 50.20, already you must be in profit anyway, because the market moved up. And you can see this was just little from 50 to 87. That was really not much compared to the move the market made around this area here. And one of the things that was violated also is the trend that we were using here, that was really violated. And you can see now we are talking about different things here, and you can see this is just the same thing. After breakout that we got here, the market went up to test also this region, went back, and this and that. So we're going to check, do we really have a new pattern, because that matters a lot. I told you that you need to know this, that trading is not really complicated, like analysis is not really complicated. You just need simple things, and you stay sharp, right? You just need simple things. So today I want us to find the entry. So it's a beautiful day. I want us to look for this market and start analyzing as the top and down analysis. This is simple. Actually, I don't want to, sometimes I really don't like talking about a lot of things that can confuse people. I just love simplicity. Most of the time I love simplicity. Yes, Carlos was saying is there, and Lislin was saying yesterday was very amazing. Good morning, Dantek. How are you doing, Lislin? I'm really good. Carlos, welcome. So I see you all in the chat. Welcome. Now, let's start with this. I want us to start with this, and we assume me. I'm going to repeat the same thing and to make this shorter. What we said yesterday, so at least so that we can understand the movement for the bond, and we know where the market is absolutely ending. And you can see what this is what happened, and we said that you see this move here. It's the same thing that you see. It's just the same models that you're seeing here. Look at that. This is the testing point that we are looking at. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, you see this? That is what I'm talking about. This point here, this is where the market was to test again, and we analyzed and said this is going to happen around this region. And you can see sometimes the market is not really going to react from just a point, because the point really is not the point that not really matter in the market. What matters more is about the region. So when it comes to the region now, that is where we do our things. That is now the scaling in and the scaling out of the market when you're doing this. And that is what happened. And then you can see also this candle touched here, and we end so many orders around this area. Market touched here, and the next candle that opened actually moved all the way from 50.78 and moved back all the way to 49.90. So those are so many dollars, and how the market reacted right there. But what we see from this candle, and looking at this market now, how it is really moving after the market tested this, moved down, of course, to just correct the big move it had made for the recovery. Then we moved back all the way to the top here. This candle is really perfect because it was almost engulfing the previous one. And the next candle that opened, although I think there is a gap here, the next candle that opened, the market moved all the way up, and also this corrected this candle that we have here. And this is what we are really getting from this market. On the highest time frame, that is the daily time frame, the signs that you get from this market is like, this market is telling us that you know what we need more time in this daily. And sometimes candles may lie, but when it comes to market structures, like you need some days, you need a time, and that's why maybe 4-hour time frame will be giving us more information than what we really have here. Because when the daily time frame, when it comes to this fall and recovery, we need more data on this. But already the market has actually created around this area here, which is testing this zone here. So I know there's some people may be planning to either sell from this market. If you are really trying to sell from this market, this is not really a good time, and I'll tell you why. Number one, this candle has really tested this region. When the market moves and testing this region, reacting from that zone, when this candle actually be testing around 1594 again, there is high probability is really going to break out, like break all that barriers that we have here. Like the people are going to push this market, and there are so many things that we can use to know where the market might be ending. And number one is not actually knowing where the people are placed their orders, is to know more about like where do we have many of these orders being placed into the market, right? Where do we have many orders being placed into the market? And the one thing that we can actually use on this, remember, yes, we can use different orders to see where they are being placed where they are being placed. And sometimes people are going to place sell limit orders. I don't know why I'm giving you this information for free, but let me just give it to you. I'm giving you expensive information free of charge. This is crazy. Anyway, now look at this. So if we wanted to know why is this market going to be pulled up, because there are some orders that can actually pull this market up, and these are not the orders that have been entered. Sometimes when you use the volume profile, is going to give us the information. The volume profile is going to give us what we call the order that has already been entered into the market. Now, what can we use now? Specifically, I'm talking about where we don't have a pattern, like where we analyzing the candles, like the candles that have been filled here. And sometimes when you see a candle being filled, just know the market is not really coming back. And this is what I'm talking about, and I said it again. The reason you see a gap around this area here is because this is a full candle without the shadow, because it's not really going back. But look at this candle, the market went up but really visited this again. Same to this, and this is very small. And also I think there is a gap here, but you can see after this candle that was formed here, the market came all the way to this top to fill this gap. But already, because of this sharpness that we have here, this makes it not valid. But this is really valid gap that was here, but I know it's been filled because the market went down. Now, what else can we use to know that the market is going to move up on these levels? Is absolutely to use to know. If you want to know the market is going to be pulled up, number one, we can go to the futures market, because the spot is really manipulated, and sometimes because of the brokers. That's why I use different platforms, and I said you must follow me and you must subscribe to my channel, because I have some things actually to teach people, but I didn't don't know why people don't love like important things. You people love scams things. You people love you love things that are for gambling. You like someone flipping $20,000 to $100,000 without concrete information. You don't want to be a professional trader. So this is a problem you see that we have. Now, if I want to know like where is this market ending, number one, candlesticks on the highest time frame, because you don't really have highest information. You need to know what is really going to be pulling this market up. You can actually go to the futures, and market always follows the futures file next, and we will be checking on that to know where do we have many of these orders being placed. In this case, you can use also the DOM, that is the depth of market. You can use this, is actually going to deal more on the volume side to know where most of these orders actually been placed on the market. But also remember, when you don't have information a lot, the chart patterns here, then what is going to help you is the candlesticks alignment, how the candles have been aligned, and so well, and that is really good when it comes to this. Like for example, when you see more about this candle, you just laugh about it, because the market visiting this area, you can see how when it closed all around 47 70, the market jumped up and moved all the way up. By look of these candles, you see how this market, simply how the market is moving this way. Just look this way. That's how you see this market moving. But remember also, we end a pattern where we said we need to prove this. We need to prove this on the highest time frame. This is what we talked about, and that is the same thing we are waiting to see also on the lowest time frame. So this line should be permanent on your chart. This line, there are some lines that actually should be permanent on your chart, and this is one of them. This should be one of them, because I think might be visiting this region before the market proceeds to move up. This should be a permanent. Actually, you should lock this line. You just lock this line, like you just lock it, because this is on the highest time frame. Now this is what I said, like market actually might be visiting this region, and I was talking about this zone before even breaking out. Then we might be visiting this region here. There is likelihood for this area here. You see this region. Now before we proceed even to move all the way to the top, and I don't think whether we have maybe a landing area. We will see that where people have placed their orders, because that is the pattern that we are getting from this market right now. I don't think whether there is band information that can push the gold after the information that there's pullback that we really got. I think they has fulfilled everything we really wanted, but the market right now is stable, and I think gold is really like gold is really like now trading. Remember some of last two weeks, or I think last week but one, if I could have left my trains running like the way I just left it running for 9 hours yesterday, you see, we could have actually lost a lot here. Like the market could have actually hit the TP or maybe the SL crazy because of the volatility that was really there and a lot of things that were really happening to the market. But you can see right now the prices are really stable, 50, 35, and moving so good. Correcting the pattern is really good. So on the highest time frame, I need to confirm this. This is not really correct, this that you see here, but according to the pattern that I'm getting from this and also the prices and the movement, we might be getting something like this to move the market. If not to this, and that's actually going to take the time, and maybe before the market moves to this area here, it needs maybe like 3 candles, of which maybe can be all the way to the Friday, all the way to Friday, all the way to Friday. Come on, Maina. Welcome. This is the first time here. Roy on their team. Hi, how are you doing? Now you see, I told you to relax. This is what we expect. This is what the highest time frame, daily time frame. Now, what do we have? Because at least when you move to 4 hour time frame, we might be getting a pattern forming like this, and you can see that this act as double top. Of course, those who love pattern, and remember that is what we are talking about yesterday. Testing this region here, testing this region. You can see almost market that's the same, and that's why most of the time, remember also we highlighted this area yesterday, this, yeah. So this is really going to be interesting zone that we're going to be talking about, because we end a region that we wanted to break out yesterday, and I think it was around 32 here. So we broke out that and the market moved all the way to the top here. Now I want to see the next pattern that I'm going to have on this market. So when you log in, you're going to see this not being that accurate. I think that is the most accurate one that we can have. So most of the time when I'm drawing the trend lines here, this is just the simplest strategy I'm just showing you here. No complications. If you want us to move in details, we move. But at least this is the best, because last 2 months that we've been trading this, no single T stop loss or TP. So we can be confident in this than being confident in this one. Now we are still moving in details of that was alignment that we're doing. Now the next thing that I'm asking myself, where is the next place that we get? You can see, for example, around this area here where we have this is actually I think okay, you see when the market actually touched this region, when we got a breakout, the market moved so good, like from 52.70 all the way. That's actually like almost the same day we got all the way to the top. So there's something here. That is what we really have to note. And you can see also this candle that tested this zone here. I think not that violent, is not really that violent, because we also end the market dropping all the way, but we've been going in details to look even more of this. But on this one, this is what I'm looking at, because this is behaving like a double top. But when you look at this market, it is really on the trend, and the trend is really moving on so well. So the next step that you are waiting to see from this market, number one, is really going to be a recovery. And why is this going to be happening? Is because when you take for example this Fibonacci and take all the way to the top where we have the retracement line, you see the 50 mark is around. So sometimes I'm talking about this line, I don't know whether it's going to be here or here. It will depend on numbers of candles that we need to move here. If it's going to take time in many hours, we're going to move all the way to this top here. And if this is the region that we're going to be talking about this area here. So we're talking about here. So most of time, that is one. If this market pulls back, then that is the area that we expect this market to move. This area here. Now you see that's now very simple, probably here, and we now wish to see. So this is what can happen to the prices, maybe around here. Before now we break, we are going to move into the candles to see what can really transpire this market to move just like that. Okay, that is what I'm expecting in terms of the pattern, because if we are going to move slightly that is below what we got here, let's say even 46, the market is really like crazy here, right? Now look at these candles that we have here. If you look at these candles here, when it comes to not the visiting or the injection that you're getting, after getting this, look at this candle. This closed below this closed below this. So if you're planning to buy, you see that's not really a good time to buy from this market, considering that this is not the closing area here, although the market actually visited 49.87. But on this candle here, unless maybe we move and closes slightly below this, but we're going to see more of that on the 1 hour time frame when it comes now how the candle is actually closing, how they are closing on this. That is going to give us more details. So are we really ending down? Are we really ending down? So that's what I want to see. We really ending down on this. Yeah, you can see what we have here. This is a pattern. I'm not really a chart patterns. There are several patterns that you're going to learn, and some of these are like the ones that you can see here. This is known as now let's look at that pattern. I know there are several people who love this pattern. I want us to look where is this wave. Okay, I want to look at this. We have this one here, then we have this, and then so this is a pattern that we are getting on the lowest 5 frame. So if you look at this area here, for those who love things about the patterns, this, and I wanted us to see whether it's going to work, because this is what we call, let me give you the name, but I know that some people know it already. I'm not, but when I spot this, I must talk about it. Like I need to talk about it, because I think the last time we used and we spotted a chart, it really worked. It worked so good, yeah. It worked so well, like it worked. This is the pattern I'm talking about, and I just like learning a lot of things, and sometimes you can ignore them and then they just work. Do you see the same thing? Do you see the same thing that we have on this chart? Yeah, it's known as the end and shoulder patterns. That is what you see here, because you can see we have a shoulder and also a hand here, and we have this and the market trying to move up, and that's what you see now. It's like it's the sign of the market. Just look at that, what we're getting. Do you see the same pattern here? This, and that. So it's likelihood now we're going to move back like this, and I think this is the time now we might be getting to this our area here where we have this region here, right there, right there, right there. Yes, whether you like it or not, that is what you see. It's just the same thing that you see. Do you see the same thing here? Do you see the same thing here on 1 hour time frame? Do you see the same thing here? Or maybe let me just delete some of these so that you can see them well. Do you see this? And that's why the reason we're saying that there's probability for this market to go down here. Yeah. And do you see the same thing? And do you think this pattern is really going to work? Because I think we might be ending down after the market maybe touching to that area. It's really giving a vibe of for it to move. I think we are getting the same thing on this pattern here. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, although this is flat downwards, so I don't know what this gives us when we have the market forming like this. But at least also I think also this might be flat here if we really consider this as a region. Just showing the same thing. I'm not forcing you, but that is what we're getting here. We look at this, and then you see. Now, how do you trend this? Let's assume now it is really working on this pattern that we've spotted here. So sometimes I really don't. This is a second time in 2 months to spot a chart pattern. The last time I don't know whether it was which flag. I thought they use. I think it was bearish, something like that. We spotted that, but I think this is really perfect. Like we have this end, these shoulders, and these shoulders that we have here, and also the end at the top. And this is a really sign. And now, how do you really trade this? Is because once this market touches this downside here, and I would like to trade when this market comes down to buy than considering to sell right now. So we can be expecting a breakout and breakout towards downside. But remember, this is just level 1. We have not really analyzed everything. This is just the start. This is start. So a likelihood now for this market to spot this. Now, of course, when we spot an opportunities like this, you must, when you have your analysis like this, you must also have the consequences from breaking it, such that when the market breaks this zone, then you know that your analysis is really going to be violated. So when that violates your analysis, then of course it becomes invalid, like it expires. So it must be have an expiry. So which levels that is going to touch so that we can have the expiry? Because if this when you look at this market far, like when you look at this market very far, you think of breakout towards the upper side from this top here. But we are going to give at this chart pattern and just one more chance. We're going to give chart patterns a more chance. We give it a chance, right? We give it a chance. I don't like them, but at least let's give it a chance, because when you look at this market here, it's really trying. You look at this candle here, like this pattern that you're getting here, like high, right? Market move down, and then you get this rejection here, and we're getting this. So what you get from here is, of course, the market trying to move all the way to the top here. So you can see we are getting two different things around this area here, maybe form another high, and of course that is a pattern we can be expecting. Like that's kind of analysis that the market to move into the top here and creating, so that we can create something like this. Yeah, but now because we have spotted one, like we expect something like this, the kind of move that you can be expecting from the market. You see, something like that, you expect something like this to happen to the market, and probably you're going to test this vision of new high that you can have here. But to just avoid that, then we give it a credit of, at this point we see where we are right now, 50.58. We spot until this market at this region here, and also to this point here. So that is going to give us more information of this is going to follow this or this pattern here. So that's why sometimes you need to be patient in order to get, because the time we are getting, when we are start analyzing the market, let's say 11 a.m. when we get live, like right now, sometimes you go live and you really don't know where the market is. Sometimes you may start analyzing the market when in the middle of when the prices are really at the middle of everything. Sometimes when we are to the top and the market is really up, and sometimes when the prices are really crazy. Now you see where the price is right now, that is really going to matter a lot, and that's why I want us to observe right now, because that is really going to give us a vibe whether we are going to move up on this pattern that we have on the trend here. Are we going to support this pattern of end and shoulder, all right, that we really have from this market? And now you see this gives us no choice here, because you can see if there's someone who was actually trending on this, buying this zone, that was really perfect on daily time frame, on 1 hour time frame. This you can just touch this one and then you buy from this low as you focus on I. But if these prices get rejected, we break this trend line. First of all, it's going to be a breakout on this trend line. So once we break this down one, you see 509, expect also the market to come and break this, and we are going to move here. So once we move to this place, now it's really going to be a very good opportunity, and we can just look for entries from that place. But if we keep moving all the way to the top, of course we're going to look for the landing place and where the market may reverse from there. So the way we are sitting right now is not really a good opportunity to write enter now, unless maybe you are holding some of the position. This is the time to just watch out on what can really happen to this market. So yesterday we waited, we earned some entries, we waited, and the TP was it. That is what we have been doing here. So still we just wait for this to see how the market is really going, and I think we are going to use this pattern for a long time as well. But remember also the daily time frame, that region that we have is really going to matter a lot in coming days. So is the market going to break? The reason I've drawn this trend line here is because I think 512 here, 50, 15 is going to matter a lot in case this market breaks this once out. But you can see we are receiving guys rejection here. So in case you see this market breaking towards the downside, then we start forgetting about the breakout towards the downside. But you see this candle closing this, of which there is high probability. The reason you see that some people is really good always to know a lot of things, because sometimes look at this, you cannot, sometimes you are going to assume there is no pattern here, and of course the market respect and comes to test that pattern, and the market moves down. So what do you see here? You see the market as you cannot of course buy here. You see there the market is right now 50, 51. Unless maybe you don't know anything about to analyze the market, you can't buy at that zone. You can't buy from there. You can't buy. Number one, you can't buy. The reason you can't buy is just because look at this the rejection that we are getting from this zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this becomes very strong rejection that we are getting here. How can you buy from here? Yeah, yes, the market can break, but that's going to be very difficult for it to break to that zone towards the upper side. Now we wait for the prices to react from that zone. Yeah, until now we get good evidence that it in the market where it's going to be moving. It's crazy. Yeah, now let me just repeat this. So you're here, make sure that you like this live. So it's very important, make sure that you like this live. And number 2, make sure at least you chat us down there. Number 3, make sure that you turn on notification bell. Sometimes I come live to give good signals right here, and you need to be there. You'll be notified actually when you do that. You'll be notified easily when you be there. So these are the regions that we're waiting for. These are the regions that I'm waiting to see from the market. So in case, but this is what I see just happening from what we got from a pattern, that we got a clue on this pattern that is possibilities this market is still going to be heading down. And considering we have a rejection to that point, although this market looks sharp, I know when you trend lines, like you see the market touching these points here, 1 2 3. The next point that you are waiting is $5,150 that is really coming, but you forget that this can actually be another pattern. Then that is when you write down and say, I'm going to wait market to be clear enough, right? So we just wait for the clarity for the gold on that zone. Yeah, we wait for the clarity on that zone. So between those two, I don't know how many actually works on I don't know how many people actually love, like, I've worked with chart patterns. I learned these chart patterns around 2020 2021. That is when I was learning about the chart patterns. Since then, I think since 2022, that is around 4 years ago, I've never traded chart patterns. But trend lines, I always trade trend lines and a lot of things actually, but trend lines is the simplest one to, as when we are trading common, like all of us common. It's just very simple and easy, and it works. If you are saying it really works so well. Yeah, now you can see the same rejection we're really getting from this candle here. So this line is really going to matter a lot, and that's why I'm saying, in case you see the market breaking towards downside here or towards the upper side here, then all this is going to give us the information that we need. That's now it is matters of patience. We just be patient, and as we wait for the market to do one thing here. Yeah, one thing that we see from happening from this market here, or you're just waiting to see. It's crazy here, so we just wait for the Lord to show us some momentum of where we are absolutely moving. Number two, remember yesterday we are going to move back to the gold and see more of that information that will be coming up. Yesterday we were trading the same move for GBP USD, and I think we saw some good move on the market moves. So let's see, what do we have? Is it GBP USD, or let's see, USD? But let me check it on the trading viewer. I'm placing gold here, so this region matters a lot. Remember that where we have here, because if we break, it's almost at the exact point that we are talking about. Let me see, before even we close the case for the gold, I want us to just slightly now, before we close, I want us to add something here. It's going to give us more information. You can see where we have the POC. That means that is the region where so many people are really buying the market from. And once this market approaches this zone again, it's going to break it towards the downside. And I don't think whether we are going to have I'm digesting this. I told you this. You need really to relax, and you need to relax and think straight. For you to have a good sniper entry, you need to cool down and reason. You need to sit down and reason so well to avoid making mistakes. Yeah, of course, where we have the breakout, so in case this market touches that region, we need to break out towards the downside, and I think this is really good. We need to break out that. So in case this market touches here, in case we move at least to 49.87, then that is going to break it out. It's going to break it down. Absolutely, it's going to break it down. It's going to break it down. Yeah, we're just analyzing the price movement, and then we'll find the good entry point. Where is the good price? But we need really to confirm the direction first. You need to confirm the direction. So we are still trying to find the confirmation for the direction. Once you know the direction, the entry becomes easy. So you need to know where the market is moving. So entry is not the problem once you know where the market is moving. That's why we are trying so much here to find the movement. So find the movement, then of course the entry will come. Because even if you enter wrongly, like let's say if you enter like, as long you know the direction, does not really matter a lot. You can actually make good amount of money with that as long you know the direction. So entry is not a problem. Entry is not really the problem. I don't know. This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. I don't like the dot that we have here. Okay. I'm digesting this. You can see still we are getting rejection here. The price has already touched 50.55, but we are back at 50.40. The information, such information is normally for scalpers, but scalpers I don't really advise to use. If you are scalping, then you need a lot of things. You need more than this information. This is not really 100% accurate, but when analyzing your this, you can use it. Yeah. So patience is really going to be working here for us, and I think this market, we need to know in terms of the pattern, this market is really correct. Like the pattern is showing it. So let me bring this information. Pattern is showing that the information, like the market may move all the way downside. That is what you are getting. That is the pattern. The pattern is showing the break here, and that's why you just wait for this. But the prices, the prices matters a lot. The prices is showing like these levels that we have here, specifically this, like the market, we have so many orders around here. I think the buyers, we have so many buyers here, and I think they must have placed their stop loss here. This price, oh my goodness, I'm not getting it now. You see, you just have to reason. I think we might actually be ending downwards. Ask me why. These prices are really struggling to move all the way to the top. Okay, the price is really struggling to move up. One thing the market is lacking is liquidity. Okay, this market is lacking liquidity. This is how people are going to be trapped here. This is how we are going to be trapped. Many of us. This is what's going to happen. Look at this. We have like almost this. This shows how many people have really entered around this area. But you can see it's big volume, but the market is not moving up from this area. Like the prices is not really breaking up. So why is that? Because you expect kind of volume to push a very big candle towards the upper side. So that gives us one reason. Like this possibility for this breakout, since people have now bought at that zone, and now their stop losses are actually located at that area here. That's where their stop losses just been placed. And let's see sentiment, what people have sentiments. I want to see Bert's thing here. Let me check on this on my FX book. The sentiment. Yeah, look at this. Oh my lord. So you people want us to pay for all this platform, all this information. We need this information. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Oh, come on. What are you doing? What is this? Go back to my FX. These are combination, Yeah. Look at this. Do you see? Do you see? Look at this. This is gold, This is gold. And you can see that 80% are on the short, right? With a lot size of volume of 842 and positions are 5,775. 842 lot size, long, short. And that means 62% are actually on the buy position. Like 62% are buying. Do you know most of the time people are wrong when it comes to settlement? People are always actually majority most of the time majority actually lose it. I really don't know why, but it's always happened. So when you see always fear the crowd, when you see people are actually supporting a lot of things countrywide, just fear that thing, because the direction majority always chooses bad things. I don't know why. I don't know. So you can see, yes, we have so many lot size. Actually, people, trading towards the upside, and we are waiting to see long. So 62% are long, and that gives it a bias. This is almost 50-50. Like almost people don't know where the market actually is ending. And this is interesting. You can see still the market is really happier. So that's why I'm saying we need to wait and see how the market is going to react around that area here. We have so much volume that has been entered here from buys. People have entered buys, so many of them, many orders around that area. I think it is around 50-18, but 50-18 orders, many of them there, but still we have a problem of liquidity, like the market to move and get momentum towards the upper side. And I think those buyers, those who probably bought, the market actually might be hitting the stop losses in order to gain the liquidity. And for that to happen, the market has to move down, and it has to trick them with probably these trend lines that we got here. So that is the thinking forward, and I think we just have to wait and see whether that is really going to happen. Those are things that you have to reason through. So the deal has become so good, like this one. You see the pattern is very simple here, and I know so many people entering this area because the market has already touched this so many times. Like, look at this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, almost 9 hours the market was touching this. The market was touching this for the last 9 hours, and the buyers are really buying. And that's why you see 62% is actually on the long positions. And when you look at this clearly here, you see many of orders have actually been entered across here. So probably those orders are here, and that's why you might be seeing this market actually coming back and breaking this. And once it breaks this, stop loss start ringing, full margin. And once market breaks that one, of course, you see it's going to collect liquidity, and then we move upwards. That's why I'm just choosing to, and the reason we have so many orders that have been entered here, but the market is failing to move up. So that is the reason I'm going to give this market. So that is it, just. But if we continue moving up, of course, with this, we are going to focus on this line at the top here. You see it here. Yeah, when this market moves to the top, we are going to look at that, because I think also the trend on the hour and time frame is really amazing there. Wow, you need to sit down and reason, because if you don't, then things will be otherwise. So we're just going to. Hey, Timo is here. How are you doing, sir? Paris Biagi, hey Dan, how are you doing, Paris? All good here. God is good. So you see now what I'm talking here. That is now the sense, eh? That is now the sense we are talking about. So because now the market is almost at the same region that we're waiting to see, so we are going to really observe that area and see what is going to be transferred. But there's probability we are going to move down because of that. So let's keep observing. We are approaching that area now. Let's see. That's really very important on my side. It's really important on my side. When has that area is really important. Let's see. I'm really going to push these prices towards the up, because if we break this and the prices settles 5080, that is very close, and the 58 is there. We can actually put a 58, because gold can actually achieve that in like few minutes. So it's not like currencies that we say that prices was really far. We can only speak about that one. So I'm going to observe that one. You can see the price is really trying. No buying, still no buying. I'm not buying this. I'm going to it. Yeah. I want us to check on at least one currency. As waiting for those prices there. What? Why wait? We wait for the currency. I want us to check on the USD JPY. I want to have entry on the USD JPY. The price is really slowing down. The liquidity market, we are still waiting to see at least has more volatility right there. So let's see on USD JPY what we have on the USD JPY. Actually, it's good to balance on the currencies. Some people actually just wait for these, and it's really good. It's really good most of the time. Yeah. Actually, do you see this? I don't know whether you remember this yesterday, because I don't know why I marked these prices. Actually, this is the first time opening this. You remember us buying from here and selling, telling you that the price is going to move to this place, 157.661. Do you see? I can see the same thing happening here. I want us to look at that. This is really great. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. So I want us to look at the USD JPY, because yesterday we analyzed USD JPY. So let's see, what do we have? This is amazing. Wow, this is great.
Work today.
GBP USD, USD JPY yesterday. I want us to check the move. What we talk about. So this is GBP. What is this one? What is this one? This is USD JPY, and we got this. I want you to look at this carefully. Look at this area here at the top. Expecting at least this price to lower down all the way down here, and I think we got it. We got it to the top here. You can see the price has already dropped. So the next stage that you're going to have is this. I'm still getting this clearly, so I'm going to close this. So you're going to get here. So we are about to buy. Yeah, so this becomes important. So I marked that zone, that is important zone that I'm really considering to have at least an entry when the prices approaches this zone. So you're still waiting, because really these candles are really dropping. So you don't expect like to buy right now until you get a confirmation because you can see this candle drop this one, so you expect also this to come all the way to this region. So that is the same way that you're going to get that candle moving. So you can expect this candle as well to move all the way down in this area here. Gold is really trending around this area, still expecting the market to lower down. I think even if you move to 30-minute time frame, you're going to see the same thing. So still you're expecting to see the prices reacting like that. Yeah, so I'm expecting a breakout of 49.84. Prices moving down, we're going to see that. But in case the prices move above, then we are going to focus on the other side. The USDJPY is going. Now we'll keep observing those two pairs, that is the USD JPY and also this pair. Now as we wait for it to come all the way down, and then tomorrow morning, that is 11 or maybe anytime from now, we actually be resuming this to make sure at least we have the entries when the market actually approaches those ones that we have. This is USD JPY. The price is going to approach around 154.7. You gone. I'm waiting for it to break the level that is now below 50.30. Those are the zone I'm waiting for this market to break. And once we break that one, I think we'll be in a very better place for now finding the entries. Once the market approaches those zones, it's really going to be so much of interest, and you can see the prices are really slowing down because there is more of news really coming up. You can see we have a lot of very big rejection towards the upper side. I think the upper side, that where we have these prices at the top here, and you can see what is really happening. So if this candle goes and closes probably at 39, then it's going to be a sign that it might be actually be ending down. But you can be sure that USD JPY is continuing to move down, and at least to 154.6, around that zone, which is actually located around this zone here. So we might be thinking of buying around, might be planning to buy around this area here. So when we combine all the information that we'll be having, so keep tuned. You may be coming live anytime from the day, probably a New York session, because already it is some hours of live streaming, and then New York session that is around 4 p.m. we'll be coming here again with a good entry. 4 to 3 p.m. Live is the next 4 to 3 hours. We'll be live here again. Ensure that you join us. I'm going to close this. Ensure that you join us, and then we're going to find a perfect entry for this. If you have not subscribed, kindly make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Dan Forex, the same name that appears here. All right, make sure that you follow me on that, and it's going to be very interesting. So we'll be coming back with you more, and at that time probably the market will have moved, considering with that we have some important high news that is coming up this around the time, which is around 4:30, so around 4 p.m. before the New York session. Then around 4 p.m. we'll be coming live again here to find the internet, because I know the gold will have moved all the way, and at least we'll be having in a better way. Of course, you can expect the USD JPY to continue moving until we get a perfect entry for that. Keep looking at those two pairs, and at 4 p.m. we'll be finding good entries. But of course, if you find good entries once the prices drops, then don't hesitate. Okay, so today you can see the market is indeed very slow, because I know some people are waiting for this, and I think if we could have gotten time, we could have explained these two, the retail sales and the core retail sales. This is very important. And remember also the CPI. So we are still expecting the core CPI 2.5% lower price that is expected here, and this is so much interesting, because I know before this, let's say probably the Thursday or around Wednesday, the price will move just because of this information that is written here on Friday. So probably tomorrow or Wednesday, that is when we are going to analyze more also on the news, because that is when we have also the NFP. So tomorrow, let's brace ourselves on how to analyze this and how we can trade all this news. Today I think we spend most of the time on the technicals, and we have the core retail sales here that is we are waiting for, and actually to get this information is very easy, like core retail sales and also retail sales. All these actually have the leading indicator, so it's very easy. But when it comes to the NFP, it does not really have it does not really have a leading indicators that we can use to go to or predict we can anticipate for the NFP. That is different. But the CPI is very direct. Of course, this we will know where the price is or what we might be getting from this. So on the CPI, this is really going to be correct. So of course, we just wait for this. But you know what normally happens? These prices for the CPI will start trending from Thursday evening. The New York session, around New York session, the CPI might be trending. The prices may be trending pre-market before actually the Friday, before you receive this data at 4:30 p.m. So that is what we be getting. But tomorrow we're going to analyze all that. So I wish we could have started with retail sales and core retail sales, but we are going to be talking even more about all of this, that the data we'll be getting also on the GDP. Remember, we have the focuses here. We have USD, GBP, USD, and also JPY, Japanese yen, and also with the euro. So those are focuses that we normally focus on to find their leading indicators. That is all those data. That's very important because those are the major currencies that we normally trend, and those combinations. So those three different currencies, that is UK, Europe, plus Japan and the USA. So those economies are really good to focus on, and especially when we get all these data. So that is really going to be interesting. And I think now tomorrow, Wednesday 11 a.m, we'll be focusing more on the news and what we'll be expecting again also on Friday, and the leading indicators that we're going to be observing. So it's going to be a match of details. Prepare yourself. Around 11 a.m, we're going to start on that. That is the retail sales. So we are still expecting, I think, around that zone there, we'll be getting this around the time. So we'll be talking more about we can actually, when around 4, before the time, maybe 20 minutes, when I'm becoming back live here at 4 p.m, we might be talking about, that is the next 3 hours, might be talking more about the core details and what we might be expecting result for this, what we might be expecting this, because we can actually be expecting more of this data, the matter, and the direction that we will be expecting from the market, what we might be getting from this. Yeah, so this is gone, and I'm expecting this market to move down. And of course, remember what we said, in case we cross this down, then you will understand one thing, that I want you, once this market moves down or maybe comes to 49.82, I want you to take home one thing and you write it down, in case we move this down, that you need reasoning, when it comes to the market analysis. You need reasoning. It's not all about the analysis that we have done, and this is what makes the market different. This is what makes the difference. This is what makes the difference between the human and the bot trading. You see, for example, when you put the bot, sometimes it can analyze, and probably, let's say, if your bot is so advanced, it can actually detect trend lines and detect something like this, and prices, and sometimes bot cannot really go there. But when it comes now to human, you can actually reason and say, you know what, these prices is very rejected here. People are entering at that zone, but the price is not really breaking. So there's possibilities for these prices to move. Just the same reason that because we are human, you understand? Both cannot really do that. And you need now, apart from analysis, you need now to reason. Those are kind of the reasoning that you need when it comes to the analysis. So it's not just that one. It's not just analysis, but just reasoning, just like this. And you have seen how this has become so hard. Like, it's crazy, because once these markets were touching this zone, moving to 63, around 63 here, thought the price is really going to move up. But number one, let's see whether the pattern is going to work. Number one, the pattern that is displaying here on the, let me just even log in again like this. I'm going to repeat this again. The pattern that we saw here, hand, these are shoulders, and these are shoulders. This is a pattern. They're going to work, and this being the end of it. This is going to move downside this way, and we need to break this trend line here. And what you have to know about this again is we have several Hondas that have been entered here, like so many buyers, a lot here, but there's of course an imbalance to that market. And that means the buy orders that have been placed here are really being offset or absorbed by the sellers, and that's why it is not moving the market. That's why you see, instead of having very strong candles like this even after buying, these strong candles like this one even after buying, you expect of course around this area to have good buys and the market pushed all the way to the top. But you see what is happening here. These candles are very small. They move up, get rejected, move up and get rejected specifically at that area. And this still tells you one thing, that yes, the buyers are really trying, but the liquidity is not really there. And that's how now there's possibility now this market now to find the momentum, probably to move to 500. Maybe this market is actually going to move slightly down and hit the stop losses of these traders that actually might be located around this area here. And I know many may have placed their stop losses around 49.83, because now so many use loss size, it's not even 48.3. I know so many people may have placed their stop losses maybe even at 5,000, probably even at 5,001, around here, 5,001, 510, 5010, around this area here. And that stop loss can actually be hit faster. And once the market hit all these stop losses, maybe probably in just one candle, it's really going to get a momentum to reverse. So that is what now we call liquidity sweep. Like it's going to sweep all this in order to get the liquidity to continue moving up. All right. So that is what we are talking about. So this region that we have here, that is now called the reasoning part. The market, what you get from the market is totally different from how you reason. And you see the analysis, yes, you are correct, the market, even those who are buying. And that's why you saw, even from this part here, 62% of the buyers are actually on the long positions. Let me even refresh this again. Probably the number is increasing. Yeah, the buyers are really reducing here, but you can see the loss size are really bigger even on this part. Still buyers are really dominating this market, but you can see how the market is really moving, but we still have buyers in this market, but all of them are actually around 50, around this area here. So as a human, that's why you know that now there's possibility, according to the sentiment now, the market now might actually sweep all their stop losses, and that is the kind of the trend that you really don't want to be in. That's now called the reasoning. You understand, You need to reason before even you enter, before everything just confirms. Make sure that you reason. Reasoning is the part of trading, and that is the common sense that we normally use before even our entries. And sometimes we may avoid. You can see from morning, the time we started analyzing this 11 a.m. This is the second hour, like 2 hours now, and we have not entered any trade. Like we have not spotted that more opportunity to enter until this market has really moved, because the market is really in between 30 and 60. But for those you know us, we normally focus on mini pips. I know we could have entered right here, selling here, buying at the downside here again, and all those things. I don't focus on $3, $2 moves, because I know losing and gaining really very fast. We are swing traders, so sometimes we can leave even our trade running overnight, and that is the most interesting thing. So in case this price is now moves past this and candle closes above this line that we have here, breaks and market, this candle, for example, is going to close around this 30 minutes is opened. It's going to close in the next 13 minutes. Going to close around 13 minutes. So I hope it closes where it is, because if it closes where it is, that is likely below 40. If it's going to close below 44, then of course we are going to end this way. And the next goal the market with this one will have is absolutely to break this trend line. Once you break this trend line, then we'll be ending this to break as well this one. As we end all the way down, then that is where the long position is, right? But because of where the market is right now, this is the center of it, then of course you choose to stay out of that market and to get a clear signal for this. That is what I want you to get into this. Remember, now after 3 hours we'll be coming back. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please ensure every day 11 a.m. you are here, we are analyzing live together, and you make sure that you don't miss this out. Make sure that as well you be observing a USD JPY. We also be checking that one. All right, so I'm signing out, and I will see you in the next one.